My name is Marissa Brown, and this is Artifact 3, Standard 1.3, ISTE Criterion 4, Report Changes Made to Teaching Practice. For my research purposes, I investigated flipped classrooms approach, more specifically the effectiveness of it, strategies for implementing the approach, and perceptions from both teachers and students. I have always had a traditional classroom. However, I have always been really interested in the flipped model approach because of some of the amazing things that I've heard about it, and these research articles that I read really strengthened my desire to implement it. It really maximizes the time that you have with your students because out goes the lectures that you are giving students to prepare them or give them knowledge, and in comes more opportunities for things like hands-on labs, small group interventions, and project-based learning. For Artifact 3, I created an annotated bibliography with 15 peer reviewed articles posted by various academic journals. In my annotated bibliography, I included things such as the titles, the authors, the date it was published, and the journal name, as well as qualifications, topical connections, purpose and scope, contextual elements, major findings and conclusions, the strengths and weaknesses, and practical relevance. One article that really stuck out to me was In Performance and Perceptions in Flipped Learning Model, an initial approach to evaluate the effectiveness of a new teaching methodology in a general science classroom by Gonzalez, Gomez, and others, which was published in this Journal of Science, Education, and Technology. The article focused on a flipped classroom model in a general science classroom, and it looked at evaluating the effectiveness of this teaching practicum. The authors conducted an experimental research and evaluated the overall effectiveness of a flipped classroom in comparison to a traditional classroom experience, and they also evaluated the perceptions of students. What they found were in previous years, students were not passing with a 72%, which was the required percent to pass the class. However, once they flipped the classroom, 88% of students were passing. They also noted that students really appreciated that approach as well. Some of the ways I stay up to date are through RSS or really simple syndication, Twitter, and newsletters, as well as you can see in the pictures, I've begun following several different organizations that post journals as well. Based on my research, I concluded a plan to implement a flipped classroom approach for school, and I began pulling materials to help support my flipped classroom experience. Artifact 3 proves as evidence that I stay current with research that supports improved student learning outcomes, including findings from learning sciences.